Hello guys, welcome to another snapshot video. Behind me you see the Barter Tower, the Pigling Barter Tower. It's an overworld bartering station and gold farm. If we take a closer look, you can see that it's a portal, and out of it is coming piglins, and when they get down there, they're thrown gold from a dropper, and they barter. They barter like crazy. And soon after, because of the new game mechanics, because they're brought to the overworld, they're turned into Pigmen, or later it will be called Zombified Piglins, I believe. But that's kind of the that's a bartering gold tower right here in the overworld, and it's quite compact. Probably I would build this part underground, but you see a lot of pigmen down there, and that's why it's also a gold farm, because when you've been standing here for like 5 minutes, or basically when you've been standing in the nether for 5 minutes, this is totally, utterly filled up with pigmen that you can kill. And if you have an good sword, with looting of course, and sweeping edge and all that, then you will actually get quite a lot of gold back that will go into the system. Now the way the system is built up is quite simple. Well, simple-ish. I have gold right here in the system, ingots, and actually I have hoppers underneath the floor here. And the gold from this chest is pushed into this dropper and then shot in to the chamber, just regulated by this clock down here. So gold is coming in at a constant pace over whatever piglins may drop down there, and you see as soon as they get down, they barter. They take a gold ingot and they kind of throw some goods at you. You can never decide. You know, you probably by now already seen videos about the bartering system. It's not like the villager system. You kind of get what you get, and this gets rather crazy. So the loot gets in at a really fast pace, and you get like all the things, you know. Obsidian, of course, is good. Ender pearls might be good. The warp fungi to make trees, soul sand, and of course gravel. And you actually also get nether quartz, glowstone dust. Yeah, you get a lot of things. The way I've done this is that I'm on the roof of the nether. I've built a farm. We will go see it in a second, where they spawn, and then you're just pushed into a portal and sent here. Down here I have a place where you can stand and kill. Right? Right. Where you can stand and kill all the get a lot of XP and a lot of gold. As you know, when you kill them yourself, they don't just drop nuggets, they also drop whole ingots sometimes. Yeah, so that's how the system works, and it's all in this size. In order to keep up with all the loot coming in and the gold circulating, getting out there, getting sucked out, getting pushed up again, and filtering out the gold, so only the gold goes out and get pushed out, I had to install item filter. Actually, I have had to install 2 item filters in here. Let me see if I can show you. Right here. And these are not just regular item filters. You can see they're different. The hoppers are pointing down. And let me get down here if I can. And this one, this is pointing down, and this is pointing into another hopper pointing down to a chest, and this one is also, so it's double paced. You set it up like you usually do up here, but first you have to fill this. You could, I suppose, fill these 4 slots with something else in gold. But the idea is it's a double pace item filter, and I've got 2 of those just to keep up. Now the whole tower is around this chamber is too thick, as you see, because otherwise sometimes I just noticed that the Pigmen glitched out. Down at somewhere down here, no, further up, I'm not really sure where, and I can't show you with all these Pigmen, hang on. And this is at normal mode. Sometimes, I will show you when we get to the Nether, it's actually possible for the small Piglins, the Piglins baby, to spawn in. If they do, they will get pushed over here because they have a different height than baby zombies or baby Piglins. So they will get burned by lava, and they don't drop anything anyhow, so they're just gone. Right, let's go to the Nether. In the world download I will provide for you, you will be able to get out of this. You don't have to go into the farm. And let's go up here where my oldest son is AFKing. And this is just so I can show you both angles. How I used it so far is that I've been standing there and looking down on the farm, seeing how they spawn, and I never AFK'd more than 5 minutes, and you get a lot of loot. I mean, you get a whole lot of loot. Now, this farm might look big and complicated, but it's really, really simple, and maybe even bigger than it has to be for a single player world, because it's got 2 spawning layers. But basically what happens is, this part down here is it's nothing more than one big portal, basically. One big portal. And then we have these chutes where, god damn it, try not to get into the portal. Then we have these chutes. The first layer is here, and you notice a stair here, and that's because behind it is a blue lantern, which scares the Piglins. And the reason why I don't have them running straight into a portal is because of the light level. I mean, you have to have a light level below 7, and this one is 3, 4, 5, and so on, if you see. But they don't actually have to see the lanterns. It works even if they're hidden like that. So they admit a light level of 10, so it's cool that you can kind of hide them like this. And the range in which they're scared of them height-wise is 4. So because that the next spawning level is there, there's only 1, 2 down, because right here is the lanterns. So you only need 1 row of lanterns. And basically the piglins spawn here. I will show you in a second. And you know the old trick, they run out, they think they can come across because there's 2 trapdoors, they see them as full blocks. The turtle eggs are just there for the pigmen, so they also will get off the platform. And the reason for the walls is so that we don't spawn in hoglins. Hoglins have a larger hitbox, they have actually a really large hitbox. So if you try to spawn, and that's a piglin, that's a small hoglin, and they can spawn in, and that's the one that I showed you will die in the lava. But if you try to spawn, well, maybe it's only kids. Oh, you see, they will get suffocated. That's why they won't spawn in naturally. This one will, of course, but naturally they won't. So it will only be piglins that spawn in here. Let me just get rid of him. And let's try going up here. Hello, you. And turning it back on to normal mode. I'm trying to get a good view of this. And as you can see, the rates are not insane. They're spawning in, they move back, they get scared, they run back towards the hole and they drop in. And even though it doesn't look that crazy from here, you saw it in the other end, it amounts to a lot of piglins, a lot of bartering, and subsequently a lot of pigmen or zombified piglins, and then gold when you actually either just let them suffocate or because they're too many, or you take them out with your looting sword. But that's basically how the farms works. Very, very, very simple. And why do it? I mean, why bring the piglins all the way to the overworld? Well, my thought was that I don't want to transport all the loot. I mean, even though the end just got a lot more interesting with this new snapshot and the upcoming update, I still think that I will probably spend most of my time in the overworld. And I don't want to have to, you know, even though it's probably an in-game thing, building a farm on the roof of the Nether, I don't want to have to bring shulker boxes and fill them up with all the loot and transport them back. You see how they're shaking? It's just because that's what they do just before they turn into zombies, zombie pigmen or zombified piglins. But you can see they get gold and somehow they're able to pick it up in that mess down there. This here is what you've seen in the video and then maybe 5 minutes more. That's it. No more than that, because I destroyed the chests, and you can also see here actually, even though we filled it up, this is the amount of gold we probably have used. So you get a lot of loot. Alright guys, that was what I wanted to show you today. I will provide a world download for you, promise, so you can go and have a look at this and tingle with it yourself. If you like the video, know what to do. Like it, subscribe, and bye.